Hi, I'm Andrew, and today I wanted to talk about why prints fail and stop blaming your printer. Hi, again I'm Andrew, and I want to talk today about failed prints. Everybody has failed prints. If you watch YouTube, the best 3D printer guys on YouTube, they have failed prints. It's going to happen. But I want to talk about how to make your success rate above 90%. And also to talk about why it's not always the printer's fault. I see people post online, they've had 5 days worth of failed prints, and they're just like, I never should have spent $500 on this printer, I want to send it back. And after helping them, people determine that it's not the printer. So I'm going to talk about some reasons why prints fail, how to avoid them, and hopefully you can get your success rate way up and get your prints going. So number one reason why prints fail is, my opinion, is bed adhesion. And that also goes with bed leveling. Prints come off the bed. Sometimes you're printing multiple pieces, one piece comes loose and it just takes out everything else, and then you're printing spaghetti. You come home to a plate of spaghetti on your print bed. So you have to make sure your bed's level. Obviously, if your bed's not level with the nozzle, you could be too close on one end, you could be printing in the air on the other end, and it's just not going to work out. So depending on what printer you have, you want to make sure that the bed's level and the bed's set right for the first layer. And you want to make sure your adhesion is good. Now you can use zebra plate, PEI sheets, build tack. On my CR10, I have a bare glass bed. I use hairspray. Aquanet extra hold hairspray works perfect for me. Stuff sticks, and then when the bed cools down, they pop right off. And I know you can use hairspray on glass without a heated bed. It works good. People use glue sticks, tape. Also, like my Prusa printer has a PEI sheet. I just clean it with isopropyl alcohol between prints. Everything sticks. Not having a problem with adhesion there. So, you need to find out what's best for your printer, what you like. Some people swear by glue. Some people swear by tape. I love the glass bed with hairspray, like on my CR10. Find out what works. Try a few different things. When you get it to where it's sticking, stick with it. Make sure things are level. And if you can eliminate most of the adhesion problems, that's going to fix a lot of your failed prints. Second is settings. Settings are very important. Your layer height, your settings for your first layer, your speed. We'll talk about speed a little later, but you want to make sure your settings are right in whatever slicing software you use. Now my Prusa, I use the Prusa slicer, and their built-in settings are excellent. I usually don't have to tweak too much. CR10, I got some base PLA settings, tweaked them a little bit. It took me a while to get PETG printing just right. And once I got it just right, a lot less problems. At first I had the temperature a little too cool for the PETG. The first layer didn't go down well, and then it didn't stick. So settings very important. A lot of times you can find profiles for your printer and for base PLA settings or PETG settings, but different brands of filament are going to print different. Even like with my PETG, translucent PETG compared to opaque PETG, totally different. I have to change the settings or they don't print right. And different PLA might print 15 degrees hotter than another brand. So even though you have some preset settings, you will have to adjust. And that's important. So you can look at your prints, look at what's happening, look at the first layer. Simplify 3D has a great website with pictures of many different print issues and troubleshooting. So if you have blobs, you can look at their picture of the one with blobs and it'll tell you what things you can change. Also, if you're just not sure what to do, you can go to one of the 3D printing Facebook groups, print a picture of your first layer, post a picture of your first layer, and let people see, and they can give you some tips too. So far, bed adhesion and print settings. The next one is the model itself. I've downloaded some models from different places, Thingiverse or whatever, and the model had a problem. If you can see this Red Skull tool holder I have here, I printed out a PETG. I had a bunch of issues with it failing, and what I found was the front of the model is a little higher than the back of the model, so it's not sitting flat. So it would print the back half perfectly on the sheet or on the bed, and the front half was almost air printing, but just enough to stick for a little while, because it would get about 1/4 of an inch up, then it would peel off, and then it would just jam under the nozzle and rip the rest of the print off. So check your model, especially if you have one model that keeps failing over and over again and you can't figure out why. Check it. Make sure it's flat on the bed. If you use Simplify 3D, you can drop it through the bed a little bit. That's what I did with this one. I dropped it through the bed. I noticed the back came through and the front didn't. So I just sliced the bottom millimeter of the model off, sits flat, printed perfectly. Also, you always want to check, when you slice the model in your software, you always want to look at the layers. Sometimes you go through the layers. I've had pieces that were just floating in the air, pieces that weren't meshed correctly, weren't connected. Simplify 3D can fix some of that, but you always want to check. I've made the mistake of doing something quick, throwing it on the printer, and it fell apart because it wasn't together right. It wasn't sliced right. So yeah, always check your models, especially if you have a model. Like if it fails 3 times in a row and you know you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, check your model. Next one is speed. Yes, 3D printing can be slow. You have to have some patience with 3D printing. And a lot of people want to make it faster. They want to push the limits. I understand, like I printed the Imperial shuttle back there, if you can see it. I printed it as big as I could go on the CR10. It took 85 hours at 0.2 layer height. And I did it slow on purpose. I was away for the weekend. I just wanted to give it time so it wouldn't have any problems. I'm printing a really large trophy right now. I tried to print that really fast because it's just a big circle, and I got splits. It looked terrible. Slowed it down, looks great. And a lot of people, they post like, I'm having trouble with this, or they post the model, it's like, I like the model, but I got splits, I got cracks. It's like, how long did it take? 3 hours. And I look at it and like, that should have taken 20 hours. So slow it down. If it's printing fine, then you're fine. But if you are having problems with the model, coming off the beds, splitting, cracks, whatever, slow it down. Next thing is filament. Filament can be an issue. I've had filament, that was a little out of tolerance. You get a spot that's a little thicker than the rest. I've had filament that was not spooled well. It was tangled up and jammed up on me. I've had a couple prints fail because I got a crossover on the roll. It jammed the filament up. One time it just broke the filament, and then I was away, so it printed air. And the other one actually pulled the roll up against the printer, hit the bed, knocked the bed out of whack, and started printing the print off to the side. And obviously that one I was here for, so I was able to stop it. You should have better luck with better filament. If you're buying $5 filament off eBay, probably not going to be the best. If you're buying, $25 filament or $40 filament, you should have better luck. I have had one of my good rolls jam up, like in the last 20%. I actually had to pull it off because it just kept crossing over itself. So, and I've heard of other people having problems with good rolls, so it's not 100%. Hopefully, as more people get into printing and more people are buying filament, hopefully they'll get better quality control, because it's really frustrating when you're doing everything right and the filament's your issue. Even people have had rolls of filament that seem brittle. So, filament definitely can be a problem. The last one, it can be your printer. From what I've seen, more times it's not the printer, but your printer can be a problem. Kind of goes with the bed level. You want to make sure the bed's tight, not any wobble, and that it's leveled right. You want to make sure things aren't clogged. You want to make sure stuff isn't coming loose. There's a lot of vibration in a printer, and it can vibrate bolts loose. So it's good to check things, make sure they're tight, make sure your belts are tight, make sure your rods are greased. Some people grease once a week or after so many prints. come up with a schedule, keep on top of it. I noticed with my CR10, it's got wheels that roll on a track, and I noticed the track gets full of the little plastic that comes off of prints and the skirts and stuff. So I keep a little vacuum under the desk to keep the parts out of, keep the plastic out of there, because you don't want wheels jamming up. And there just can be problems with the printer, but most of the time it's not. So hopefully this list of things can help you get a better success rate for your prints. Like I said, this is not an all-inclusive list. This is just my opinion from what I've seen and worked with. But I see a lot of people post, they get frustrated, and I want to help people avoid the frustration. I don't want you to think, oh, I wasted $800 on this printer, it's a piece of garbage, when it's your eBay filament that you bought, or it's something like you're using the wrong hairspray, or you're just not using the right settings. So hopefully this list can help some people. You definitely, I've been printing, the last few weeks I've had like 90+% success rate. Very few prints have been a problem, and it feels so much better when you can put something on before you go to bed and you get up and it's done and it's perfect. Nothing's more frustrating than coming back and you have a ball of spaghetti or you're printing air. So like I said, hope this helps. If you liked the video, please like it below. Feel free to leave comments, let me know what you think, and subscribe to my channel for updates when new videos come out. And you have a wonderful day.